What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is tonibryanne, and in today's video we'll be discussing the black best friend character trope. Oh, let me emphasize it, the token black best friend character trope. So this video in particular I'm very excited to film because I have been noticing it more than ever, and I wanted to do a whole video centered around it. And if you haven't noticed it before, you're definitely gonna notice it now. But before we get into this video, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Delta Munchies. This company provides legal cannabis shipped directly to your front door. And when I tell you guys, this stuff is good stuff, it's insane. I am not a traditional cannabis smoker. I'm not into those recreational activities. But when Delta Munchies sent me, I had to give it a try. And let me tell y'all, out of this world, for this to be legal cannabis. So Delta Munchies is available nationwide, and it is a great alternative for those living within states where traditional cannabis is not available. Delta Munchies was kind enough to give me a discount code for you guys to enjoy the holidays with some great stuff, okay? Head to deltamunchies.com and use my code TONY20 for 20% off your next purchase. And thank you, Delta Munchies, for sponsoring this segment of the video. And without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Since the beginning of time, it's as if in every coming of age movie with a starring white girl, there's always the token black best friend. And I call them the token black best friend character trope. So what is this role, you ask? This is a black character whose role either A, revolves almost entirely around a white character, or B, serves as a conscious effort for a white character or writer to appear inclusive. And I like to say it just gives the director a good check mark for having inclusivity in their film. Now, this can be seen both in male and female black characters, but I primarily see it when it comes to black female characters. This trope is constantly depicted in movies and TV shows where the black friend is a side character in her white friend's life. Her white friend is typically the main character, the underdog. She's gonna learn a valuable lesson in the movie where her black friend stays kind of stagnant. The only time that we'll ever see some form of complexity within that black character is if it's strictly to help benefit her white main character friend. And when I say help their white friend, it means to help navigate them through their life in this natural coming of age story, right? So what are some good examples of this? I got you covered. The show Good Luck Charlie, where the main character Teddy, her best friend is Ivy. Ivy is known as the tough one. She always is listening to Teddy and giving Teddy great advice and helping Teddy, once again, navigate her life. Then you have Clueless. Clueless is my movie, but y'all, we all know we have Cher and Dion. And Dion does have a little bit more complexity to her character, but we primarily see Cher's life. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later because Dion and Cher are just a little bit different in the way that I'm trying to explain what the black best friend character trope is. But moving right along, we have Matilda when it comes to Matilda and Lavender. This is also a different story, different narrative, probably because Matilda is like a 6-year-old, but yeah. Then we have Disney Shake It Up with Cece and Rocky. Rocky played by Zendaya. And let me tell you, I'm gonna get into this a little bit later as well. The way they try to make Zendaya the back character, but she ended up uprising and becoming one of the leading actresses in today's world, but we'll get into that a little later. And then the movie Tall Girl. We have the main character Jodie and then her best friend Frida, or Farida, I think it was Frida. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but yeah, you have those characters, and she is basically helping her friend navigate her being tall and figuring out her life. So the black best friend character trope, and I'm gonna stop saying trope so many different times, so I'm just gonna say the black best friend. She is always the main character's shoulder to cry on. She's always the trauma unloader. And she always has to be this sassy protector for some reason. Several times you see the black best friend in these movies, they're always sassy, masculine, very aggressive, and it just feeds into the negative stereotypes that are already displayed on black women on a day-to-day basis. Throughout the film, you see the black best friend cheering on and motivating her friend and giving her valuable advice, and all of this is helping the main character to grow, whereas the black best friend stays very stagnant. There's always a lesson learned in the end for the white character, and she's able to grow, and she's able to be like, thank you so much, bestie, for doing this for me or being by my side. But did the black best friend ever have anybody on her side? And this character trope also depicts another negative stereotype that we constantly see in the real world and in media, and it's the fact that that black women always have to be so strong. It's like we have to be the shoulder to cry on, we have to help motivate you for you to grow, but then like I said, we stay stagnant and you're just flourishing and becoming the best version of yourself. And honestly, though it is a stereotype, it is true in a lot of cases because black women, we're not able to sit back and reflect and try and figure out what's going on in my life. How can I grow from this? Because we constantly have to be strong, because if we're crying, we're called dramatic, we're called sensitive. We're not able truly to grow into the person that we're able to be without the proper people around us. Also, when it comes to love interest, in a lot of these coming of age stories, it's the white main character that happens to fall in love with Mr. Right, and she finds the guy of her dreams, and then the black girl has nobody. And I know a lot of these coming of age stories are based in high school, middle school, whichever, but why is it okay for the white girl to have a love interest and the black girl doesn't get the love interest? And in one of the movies I mentioned, there was a love interest. Dion had a love interest in Clueless, but we saw how toxic that relationship was. It depicted that black women are not able to be loved unconditionally and be in healthy relationships. And it also shows that black women are not deserving of love, whereas their white counterparts are. And you can say I'm being dramatic, you can say I'm doing the most, but honestly, y'all really don't realize, unless you are a black young girl growing up in America, well, growing up in this world in general, and you see how much you're not represented in media. It is very angering and sometimes messes up the visualization that you have for yourself. And what I also see depicted in a lot of these films is that they try to make the black best friend less attractive than the white main character. They very much so pick someone that they would deem as unattractive. And I'm not saying that any of these women that I'm speaking of are unattractive, because in my eyes, they're all beautiful, but they try it. They tried it within Good Luck Charlie. Teddy's best friend, Ivy, who was black, she's heavyset. And you see that again and again and again. And I didn't even mention in Good Luck Charlie, because they did it twice. They did it with Teddy's brother, PJ, and his best friend, Emmett. Emmett is constantly chasing after the white woman, and she doesn't want him because he's seen as undesirable. And it's showing that black men chase after white women. I'm not gonna get into that. But they're unwanted and undesired. And to me, Ivy's beautiful. Ivy's a very beautiful woman, but the way they dressed her, the way they put her together, you could tell they were trying to perpetuate that she was not attractive and Teddy was the desirable friend. Now, this wasn't necessarily shown in Clueless because Dion was also wealthy and she dressed very nicely. But I will say once again, they chose the partner for Dion to be someone that's unattractive, what they would consider hood, and just not desirable as a man. And Shake It Up is what I'm going to get into, which I was mentioning earlier. They really tried it with trying to make Zendaya the sidekick, and like I said, Zendaya has surpassed Bella Thorne, I would say, when it comes to success. But in Shake It Up, you can tell that though there are technically two main characters, Cece was the main character. And though Rocky was depicted as the smart one and she was the good girl, she didn't have a lot of character development, but they always gave Cece, in my opinion, the better clothes. They put her in better situations, and she had more love interest than Zendaya did. Well, Rocky. And though in Tall Girl, both the girls were seen as unattractive, Jodie and Farida, Jodie was considered unattractive because she was too tall, but Jodie still got a love interest in the end. And Farida was just there cheering her friend on and being this protector of her best friend. Another aspect of these movies and TV shows that I see constantly shown is that whenever the white main character is hanging out with her black best friend outside of school, they're constantly at the white friend's house and they're constantly with her family. And that perpetuates the idea that black people come from unstable or broken homes. And once again, this is not blatant in our faces. These are all subliminal messages that we are noticing. If you are a black person, if you're white, you're not really noticing it because this is not something you deal with on a day-to-day basis, but it's okay for you to listen and understand from where we're coming from. But a lot of this is depicted, maybe not intentionally, but it does show a lot of problems that we see within society. Now, I'm not saying black and white women should not be friends. I have several white friends. I have white and black friends that I love dearly. And I'm not saying that these forms of relationships should not be depicted in television, but I think we need to be more courteous when we are depicting these relationships on TV and not just using it as a check-off point for inclusivity. If a main character has a best friend, you would think that we'd be able to see their stories as well. Or can we at least have a black main character? Because you rarely see that unless it's about unleashing a bunch of black trauma. Or TV show, because they be doing all the trauma aspects of that too. This is problematic for black children that are just trying to watch a show and enjoy it. Not all black children are sassy. Not all of them depict these strong qualities. Because honestly, I don't want to be strong. I'm trying to live a soft life, okay? We can show these characters in different lights, like they use the same narrative over and over again, and it's just disgusting. I also want to give special attention to this one clip that I saw on TikTok. There was a scene on the Amanda Show that kind of displays some of the things that I mentioned in the video already. Not even kind of, it blatantly displays this. On the Amanda Show, they had a segment called The girls' room, and one of the girls was Sheila, and they made Sheila have every negative stereotype in the book. They made Sheila the aggressive, mean one that was always ready to fight somebody, and that's something that we see all the time. Now, all the girls did have negative stereotypes in this exact clip, I will say, but we're only going to be focusing on the black girl right now. Time and time again, young black girls are being misrepresented or not represented at all, and we need to really focus on this and fix this problem in Hollywood. How can we fix this? Having more black and brown faces inside these exec rooms. The reason that these characters are all having the same exact archetype is because there's only white faces in the room, well, mainly white faces in the room that are writing and producing these movies and TV shows. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below when it comes to the black best friend character trope, the token black best friend. Have you guys noticed this, or is this the first time you're hearing about this? And I would love to hear from my non-black viewers as well. Have you noticed this, or is this something new to you? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love and I appreciate you guys so much. The support is undeniable, and I just give it all to you guys. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.